Ooh, the chapel is filling up. I love this time of year. Do you? Happy, healthy holidays to all of you at home from all of us at Know the Cause. You know, in years past, we did the roast beef, right? We did the main courses, we did the turkey. We didn't quite hit on accurately, I believe, the stuffing. How do we stuff a turkey? You know, what is a good side dish along with your main dish? That's what today's show is all about. Denny and I went in the kitchen many times in the past. This time for the holiday season, I think you're gonna love these. How many, with a show of hands, love Brussels sprouts, for example? I see all the guys out there with their hands up. Nobody loves Brussels sprouts, but the way Denny makes them by peeling them, wait till you see. You can't have mashed potatoes. What do you do in lieu of mashed potatoes? And finally, what do you drink? You're not going to believe what Denny can do with a little ginger and a little grapefruit. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. Toward the end of the show, so don't go away, we got you held captive. We have great, great desserts. Happy, healthy holidays from all of us here at Know the Cause. Okay, stuffing circa 1970, right? What was it? Corn, bread, mushrooms, right? Now you're on the phase one diet. How do you make a stuffing that your whole family will enjoy and that is phase one friendly? Denny and I went in the kitchen. Well, watch this. When you tend to think of stuffing, what do you tend to think of, right? Mom used to take cornbread and put some onions in it, and wham, into the animal, into the turkey, into the bird it would go. But this is a little bit different. Denny's come up with a phase one type of stuffing that looks so good.
I know, just in time for the holidays too. So what I figured is that why not use quinoa instead of bread?
Perfect.
Works great, right? So I'm just sauteing some onions and celery here, the things most people put into their bread stuffing. We'll just use all the same
Looks
things.
like a couple of cups in.
Yeah, okay, so I've got about 3 cups of quinoa. This isn't by no means, you don't have to do it to the, do you have to do it to the quantities, but about 3 cups of quinoa, half a cup of celery, half a cup of onions. We've got some turkey sausage here. You can use any kind of sausage that you want. With breakfast sausage is really good for stuffing.
Oh, it smells so good.
And I've got some green apples here. And we'll add a little bit of sage.
Sage? Okay.
Always sage in your stuffing, I think. And we're just going to stir this up. Now you would take this and put it into a baking dish and put it in the oven at 350 for about half an hour, 40 minutes. Or you could stuff your bird with it.
Good.
And everything is pretty much cooked in here already.
And
except for the apples, so you can taste it and see how good it is. But after it cooks, especially inside a bird, it's so yummy.
Do I have the greatest job in the world? This is just splendid. By the way, if you missed the recipe, all of our shows are re-shown on knowthecause.com. So you can watch Denny again. Oh, it smells so good.
But you'll only get to taste it if you make it. And it's easy.
Absolutely the best stuffing I've ever had. Thank you, Denny.
Good, you don't have to be deprived with your turkey.
Denny, I like that. You don't have to deprive yourself. That's what this is all about. But what do you do 2 or 3 hours? Guests start arriving in the morning. Dinner isn't until noon. What do you do at 10 o'clock? You make a phase one friendly appetizer that is mwah. Okay, back into the kitchen with Denny, and this time during the holidays, how many times have you been asked to bring a dish, right? What are you gonna take? I mean, there's nothing you can open in a can and throw together that isn't going to be really good and healthy for your guests, or at home. A lot of you have guests coming over at home. Denny has whipped up something here, the likes of which you will love, and it's relatively simple for me because she did it.
It is really simple. It has a few ingredients, but it's really simple. It's just crab meat. We've got some parsley, peppers. You could use, I used red and yellow peppers. You could use green peppers, whatever you like. I'm putting a little bit of jalapeno pepper in there. Put some chives in there, some cream cheese, a little bit of homemade mayo. It's not a light dish, it's really rich, but you know, you're not gonna eat a lot of it. And you're gonna eat it with some of those great vegetables over there. So
Denny, how many parties have you been to with crackers or potato chips? You know, be different, folks. That's what eating healthy is all about. That's what we try and encourage you to do here. There are health benefits to eating like this as opposed to negative benefits of eating a lot of oily potatoes and so forth. And crab, what a good idea, Denny. Crab is one of those foods that is high in omega-3 fatty acids. Here's an interesting fact. So many people say, well, I'm not going to eat something, you know, from the bottom of the waters, but crab has the ability to filter out mercury. So doctors know this when they tell pregnant women and so forth, hey, I want to eat some fish, eat crab, because very, very low mercury concentrations in crab, but they are high in selenium, lean protein. What's that, Denny?
This is one that's already done. It's actually hot and bubbling. It's probably going to be too hot to eat, but you can see what it's going to look like when it's finished. We'll put this one in.
Joe, do you got that? Doesn't that look good? Look at that. Take that to your friend's party and you are going to absolutely be a hit. Chop up some veggies.
Oh, look at that.
I thought you were going to give me that to put in my mouth.
I wouldn't do that to you, Doug.
I might not do that.
There you
Yeah,
go.
this just, okay, so here we have broccoli and cauliflower and celery and carrots. And if I wasn't on the air, I'd take one of those celery sticks and just eat the whole thing down. But being on the air,
It's hot.
oh,
A little hot. Did just come out of a 425-degree oven. That could explain it. You do cook it at 425 for about 12 minutes.
that'll burn anything that's toxic inside your body. It's that good. That's
That's
a
one
good
way
dish.
to get healthy.
Denny, thank you. Share
You're
it with
welcome.
me.
I think I'll wait for it to cool down a bit.
It's fungus until proven otherwise. Hi everybody, I'm here at Roy's Natural Market here in Dallas, Texas for the FUPO segment today, and it's all about chlorophyll. Those of you who go to health food stores know what this is. This is wheatgrass juice, fresh from the juicer. A lot of us in the health world love drinking this stuff, and at first it was a little bit, didn't taste that great, but then after we did it more and more, we began to like it. And why did we do it? Because of the energy we got, because of the detoxification, and all of the normal things that we love about green, leafy vegetables. A lot of concentration in a little bitty shot. Now, what about those of us who are FUPO heads though? Does chlorophyll have anything for us? Well, right here at Oregon State University, I have a study that talks about what chlorophyll actually does. And of all the things that it does, for us FUPO heads, the main thing that we care about is, does it deal with mycotoxins and fungus? And sure enough, it does. They showed at Oregon State University that when people consume chlorophyll, about 300 milligrams a day, it was able to completely detoxify aflatoxin B1. Guys, this is the most carcinogenic substance on the planet. It is a mycotoxin. If you're eating corn, if you're eating wheat, if you're eating peanuts, you have got to make sure that you get rid of that, get on the phase 1 diet, and introduce yourself to chlorophyll. Now, if you're ready for this, 300 milligrams a day means about 3 servings of this every single day. Or if you want pure wheatgrass juice, you can get the powdered form. But if you're like me, you want to go big league. Because for those of us who really know what it's all about and listen to Doug Kaufman, we know that it's fungus until proven otherwise.
Nobody would cook an artichoke and then take it out and just eat it whole like that. Well, use that same mentality when making something that your family probably doesn't like right now, but wait till you try it the way Denny does. It's Brussels sprouts. Peel it. How many of you at home like Brussels sprouts? Show of hands, right? Not many people do, but Denny is preparing Brussels sprouts today, which are a tremendously nutritional food, tremendously anti-cancer food. She's peeling them. Normally people put them in their mouth and chew them up and say, I don't like those, but I know they're good for my health.
It's a little time consuming, but it's so worth it, and they hardly take any time at all to cook when you do this. I'm just sort of deconstructing them.
Okay.
You end up with a little,
Bulb, yeah.
the little center of them here, which this is a little bit more bitter, but you can slice those up and cook them at another time if you want. But I'm just going to take the leaves. I've got a pan here with some melted butter, and I've got it just hot enough where it's beginning to brown. You don't want it too hot. Those little brown bits in there are really tasty and nutty.
And that's
we're
just
gonna-
butter. That's
Just butter.
Okay.
We're going to throw these in here, and we're going to
Oh, it's popcorn.
just toss them around for about 3 minutes.
Okay.
And then we're going to add a little bit of thyme and a little bit of lemon juice, and you won't believe how different they taste from the Brussels sprouts you grew up with.
Well, you know what? Sulforaphane is the active ingredient, the active, what I call medicinal quality of Brussels sprouts, just like broccoli and other foods of this sort. And the sulforaphane, I'm telling you, turns on genes that shut cancer off. So this is a medicinal food.
Wow, look at how pretty this is. When you
And
cook
it's
it
about 3
quickly like
minutes,
this,
huh?
yeah, about 3 minutes, and it'll stay nice and bright green like this. You just
Okay.
have to stir it while you're doing it, while it's cooking.
You know, I love the sound that makes.
And
That
a little
sounds so
snap.
good. Just butter, and now what are you putting into the
A
Brussels
little bit
sprouts?
of fresh thyme, which
Okay.
I use a lot of thyme, but it's really good with vegetables.
Okay.
And I put a little salt and pepper in there already. I'm
Okay.
going to add a little squeeze of lemon, just to freshen the whole thing up. Give it one last toss. And you aren't going to believe how yummy these are.
Now, Denny, you put that on the table with maybe some fish or chicken. It's a side dish for, oh, it smells
Goes with
so good.
anything.
You know, the most amazing part of this, folks, I told you about sulforaphane, right? That's in these brassica vegetables. Sulforaphane turns on the genes that turn off the cancer cells. What's fascinating is sulforaphane is one of the most potent antifungals we know of. So,
Healthy and delicious.
I would eat those Brussels sprouts. That is really, really good. Thank you, Denny.
So what are my favorite high energy foods? Number one is protein. So you've got your salmon and your meats. Make sure, if you can, if they're organic and grass-fed, that's best. Nuts. I love raw nuts, nut butters, things like that. They are filled with protein and fiber, and they really help you to get going. Great with some apples. And then quinoa. Quinoa is high energy food. It's filled with protein. It's a complete protein, so it's actually the same as your eggs and meats and things like that. And it's filled with iron. So iron is one thing that some people are lacking, and it really helps to increase the energy. So protein is kind of the major theme in this. When you have protein, it stabilizes that blood sugar, and the fiber helps to keep you satisfied as well as the fats too. So think of proteins and fats.
On the Phase 1 diet, of course, alcohol is out, and you don't want to feed your guests alcohol, and there's a lot of kids running around. So what can you give everyone that they're going to love? You mix a little spice with a little whole food. Watch this. Isn't this the time of year? Salute and drink. You know, so often red wine, Denny, is what the beverage of choice is, but Phase 1, you can't do red wine, and
That's
you can't do
right.
alcohol at all. So you have come up on page 21 of the new book. Thank
That's
you for
right.
that new book. You've come up with some viable alternatives that are tremendous.
Yes, today we're making some ginger ale from
Mm-hmm.
scratch, and this is ginger root. I'm just peeling it here. The really easy way to do it is with a spoon rather than with a,
Oh, yeah.
because they've got all those little nooks and crannies. And I've got some over here already simmering in a simple syrup that's made with xylitol, which again is Phase 1 friendly.
Mm-hmm.
And all we're going to do is put a couple tablespoons in a glass. You can use more if you like it a little stronger, or a little less if you've got kids that don't like it quite as strong, because ginger is kind of potent.
Yeah, it is.
But it's sweet too, and if this doesn't taste just like real ginger ale, I'll tell you.
Danny, you said it's potent, it's sweet, it's good. Let me
Strong.
just tease you a little bit. University of Michigan a few years ago concluded that ginger, I mean this stuff, right? This inhibited ovarian cancer cells. They're using it for colon cancer prevention, eases menopausal symptoms, eases menstruation symptoms. It's an anti-inflammatory, morning sickness. The list just goes on and on.
Good, yeah, and motion sickness.
Motion sickness.
Yeah.
This little thing is amazing. So real ginger ale, what Denny is making here, is therapeutic. That's,
And tasty.
you want me to try this?
Not yet.
Okay.
We have one more, and then you get to
Darn.
choose.
Okay, good.
This is a grapefruit soda, and it's made with organic grapefruit juice, and we're just going to use about equal portions grapefruit juice and
Yep.
again, some sparkling water.
And again, the grapefruit, the reason it's pink or red is lycopene, right? Guys who have prostates eat a lot of these red fruits and vegetables. Very, very good for you, lycopene.
Now, I like it just like this, but if you've got kids that are accustomed to drinking sugar sodas, they might be wanting something a little bit sweeter, so you can add a little stevia to it. And there's a certain sparkling beverage that comes in a can that I
Yes.
won't mention, but it tastes just like this.
Why
so-
would you do that when you can have this at home, fresh made?
Okay.
I mean, this is wonderful.
Cheers.
Cheers. Absolutely delicious. It's unbelievable to think you can make it taste that good,
And
not out of a can.
And it's healthy.
It's healthy.
Cheers.
Salute. That drink tasted so good and it's family friendly, as is this potato alternative. How many of you miss potato, right? Butternut squash is so much better for you. Watch this. You know, butternut squash is one of those foods you can make year-round, holiday season or out of holiday season. And this is what it looks like, Denny. I had no idea. Well, yes, I did, of course. That is a butternut squash. Most people don't have any idea that's what they look like. You chopped one up, and
Right.
boy,
and
oh boy.
You just have to peel it first, chop it up, take the seeds out. And it's not important. They're odd sizes, but the important thing is to get them about the same size so they cook at about the same
Okay.
rate. And we're throwing in some shallots here, which I love, especially when they're roasted. They're so sweet and delicious.
I may have read about this
Amazing.
on page 167.
Indeed you did.
In a book called Cooking Your Way to Good Health.
Who wrote that book,
A
Doug?
wonderful best-selling book. I have no idea who the brilliant scientist was. Two people actually wrote that. More like you wrote that. Congratulations, good work.
Thank you.
Now, this is a dish that can be served at any time. Is this a side dish along with? Here we have a turkey, but a good
Yeah.
steak, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're just going to add a little bit of olive oil.
Okay.
And some fresh thyme is really good with butternut squash. A little bit of salt and pepper. We're going to stick it in the oven at 400 degrees, and we're going to just let it roast for about 30 to 40 minutes.
Okay, while you're doing that, butternut squash, a tremendous anti-inflammatory, and this is interesting. Our friend Greg Emerson would call this butternut pumpkin. In Australia, New Zealand, they call this butternut pumpkin. Very, very high in fiber, vitamin A, vitamin C. You get about 20% of your daily need of omega-3 fatty acid by eating butternut squash on a regular basis, which is very, very important. You mix in the shallots, which are high in minerals and all sorts of vitamins and so forth, and you've got a really, really good meal here. And here we have it in complete form.
Sorry.
Do you mash it like potatoes?
You could, but it's really good just like that. They're little sweet nuggets, and I think you'd prefer it just the way it is.
They are so good. And you said thyme you added. Very high in vitamin K, good for blood clotting, antifungal, antibacterial. Look at you examine it so closely.
I want to get you a good shallot in there because they're so sweet and yummy.
Oh.
And hot. Sorry. They're good. So, butternut squash is a great side dish. Try to wait a little while after it comes out of the oven before you test it, but it's good.
That's a good way to shut me up. Butternut squash, shallots, thyme, delicious. Thank you, Denny.
Sure.
My office is probably like your home. Do you have dozens of popular books that tell you what is right to eat, right? Eat this way this year, and this way this year, and this way this year. I've got a good way to figure it all out, folks. In chapels like this across America, they teach about a diet, right? And it's published in this book. And this diet's been around a couple thousand years. Do you remember when the fatted calf was ordered slayed by the father of the prodigal son, right? He stepped off the porch and went up and embraced his son, kissed him, and said, "Welcome home, son." And as a celebration, they ate beef, and they didn't get prostate cancer. What's the difference with beef back then and beef now? And then in the Old Testament, there are dozens of references that say, stay away from yeast. Why was that okay 2,000 years ago, and yet yeast is okay today? Chew on that one.
My name is Nathan Webb. I'm from Denver, Colorado. I've been on Phase 1 for over 4.5 years. I'm on it for migraine headaches. I originally started to get rid of the headaches naturally and drug-free. I decided to skip all the drugs because I was afraid of the neurological problems it would cause. So I strictly did Phase 1. It took a long time. I continued to get headaches for the first few months, but every headache was a little less intense. Once I removed the blood sugar out of my bloodstream and out of my diet, all the grains, all of the alcohol, corn, pasta, bread, muffins, cakes, ice cream, all the extra fruits, things got substantially better. Stick with it. It works. Try it for 30 days, Phase 1. It's not fun, but it will prove that it works, and you can feel better too.
Whoever thought you'd be the life of any party bringing something in dessert form called rhubarb, right? But if you mix the tart taste of rhubarb with the sweet taste of strawberry, it can't get better than that for flavor. Oh, Denny, Dining with Denny, Cooking Your Way to Good Health. This is a cookbook. One of my favorite parts in this is the chapter that talks about desserts. I just happen to be young at heart. I just look old on TV. Your desserts are exquisite. Rhubarb, I have always liked. By the way, folks, don't pick up rhubarb and eat the leaf. It can be quite poisonous. And the fruit is so tart, almost nobody will eat
It's
that.
really tart, yeah. So generally it needs a lot of
Sweetener.
some sort of sweetener to make it palatable. Or you can mix it with strawberries, which are very sweet, and a little stevia.
Brilliant, brilliant.
Which is what we've done here, and it's just, I used frozen strawberries and fresh rhubarb in equal portions and a little bit of water to just give it some liquid. Cooked it for just a couple of minutes, put a lid on it, cook it for about 10 minutes. I added some orange zest to it.
Orange zest is the orange peel that you just scrape off, right? One of those little
and that gives it
grinders,
really good flavor. And here we've got strawberry rhubarb parfait with Greek yogurt, which is really pretty and would make a really nice dessert.
Even if you don't eat it, set it around your house.
Yeah,
right?
exactly, just for decoration. But if you're Doug Kaufman and you love rhubarb like I know you do, I would just pour a whole dish of this because it's healthy, it's good for you, it's got no sugar, and this is a little lighter with just a dab of Greek yogurt on top.
So
There
this
you
is Greek
go.
yogurt. This isn't whipped cream.
No, no,
This
no.
is Greek yogurt. See, I could eat the stalks just, and I used to when I was a kid.
I've seen you do that. That's to each his own.
Oh, Denny. Oh, folks.
It's good. It's really good, and it smells so good while it's cooking here. It really smells good, and it thickens up a little bit. This looks a little liquidy, but as this has been refrigerated, and as it chills, it gets a little thicker.
Let's do a whole new segment, Desserts with Denny. Dining with Denny, Desserts with Denny. This is delicious, Denny. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I may have thrown you off a bit with rhubarb. What about this? Everybody's holiday dessert is pumpkin, right? But not pumpkin pie, not with all the sugar. Watch what Denny does, Phase 1 friendly, with the pumpkin. Okay, now in Cooking Your Way to Good Health, Denny has prepared a recipe called pumpkin panna cotta.
It's
First of all,
delicious.
Panna cotta?
Cooked cream.
Cooked cream, okay.
Italian
Pumpkin
for cooked cream. So what we have here is some cooked cream. It's 2 cups of cream. It's almost brought to a simmer. I've softened and then heated some gelatin. And we have 15 ounces of canned organic pumpkin, not pumpkin pie mix, but pumpkin, and 2 cups of almond milk. And you could use all cream. I just decided to use half almond milk to make it a little lighter. Teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice.
So as you notice, this is a dessert, right? You'll make this for the kids or for the husband or for the wife. And,
or for company, or just to sit down and eat the whole thing yourself because it's
it's
yummy.
so
It's
good.
really good. So we're going to add the gelatin to the cream and stir it a little bit, and then we're going to add it all together with the pumpkin, along with the almond milk and the spice.
Denny, you said not to use it with a pumpkin.
The pumpkin pie mix, that
Yeah.
comes already pre-seasoned, and some of them even have a little sugar in them, so you don't want to
Okay.
use that. Just
Okay.
straight pumpkin, organic if you can get it.
Okay.
And we're going to add this.
That
Pumpkin
is?
pie, that's pumpkin pie spice.
Okay.
Whoop, we need it all, a whole teaspoon. And 2 cups of almond milk. And then you would just pour this, you can pour it into individual ramekins and chill it. or you can put it in a large container and then spoon it into individual serving dishes when it's ready. But when it's all refrigerated and chilled, this is what it
looks like this, right? Joe,
That's
you got
right.
that? Look at that. Isn't that just,
right.
here it is.
And
Let's
it's-
see, let me turn around there with Joe.
Got
Yeah,
it?
good. Oh, that looks good. Okay.
It's a lovely, creamy, silky texture. It's just
Ooh, it is.
really nice.
Denny, I just know what I'm going to taste in just a minute. I just know what I'm going to taste. This is going to be delicious.
And we've topped it with a little Greek yogurt here and a little sprinkle of cinnamon.
That's the
looks
texture
nice.
of it, huh? It's got a
It's
neat
almost like
little-
custard, but it's different. A little creamier, a
Oh,
little
no.
nice, huh? How much of
I
that
have
could
the
you
best job. I could make, a day of this. Best job in the world. What's the sweetener come from? The pumpkin itself?
Stevia.
Stevia. You put stevia in
I
it?
did put a little stevia in. You could use honey if you're on phase 2, which is really nice with the
A little
pumpkin
dollop
too.
of cream. Give it to your kids for dessert, and they will, or dinner. They will absolutely love this. And it's a way to get pumpkin. High in manganese, magnesium, phosphorus, even L-tryptophan. I always wondered, Denny, if it was the turkey that made Uncle Ed go to the couch and fall asleep on Thanksgiving, or was it the pumpkin? Got a lot of tryptophan.
I
in
didn't know that.
Let's keep talking so I can eat more. Thank you, Denny. That is delicious.
Enjoy.
My name is Olivia. I had precancer cells, dysplasia, and then I also had signs of carcinoma on my cervix. And when they found that, they also found a yeast overgrowth. And they told me that I had HPV virus and that I was supposed to be getting surgery to have it either removed or a total hysterectomy. But they were going to do further testing. So they did more testing. There's still nothing that they could do. And they said that we're just going to have to remove it. There's nothing I can change with my diet. And then I saw Doug Kaufman's TV show. And I did the phase 1 diet. And I alkalized my body, cut out sugar, cut out dairy, gluten, soy. And I came back 6 months later, and the cancer cells are gone. Completely gone. I don't have any more yeast problems. I'm not tired. I mean, it's just when you heal your body, you don't just heal one thing, you heal everything. And I mean, I'm going to stick to this diet. I just quit my job. I'm actually going to school for nutrition.
Okay, you've made it up to the holidays, right? You followed the phase 1 diet and you feel great. But so many of us, this is the time of the year, and I was the most guilty of this. This is the time of year you go to Uncle Bill's or you go to Grandma's house and you begin to eat more poorly, right? All of a sudden, people get depressed. They say it's seasonal affective disorder or one thing or another. Folks, it's got everything to do with the way you ate. These side dishes meant something today. Not only were there foods to nutrify your body, but they're excellent for your health. As you saw, they're loaded with minerals and amino acids and vitamins. Take advantage of eating well during the holidays, so after the holidays you can keep your resolution of losing weight, losing the symptoms, losing the headaches, etc., and feeling much better. Just about time for me to go now. Chapel's ready to start. God bless you, folks. Have a happy, healthy holiday from all of us here at Know the Cause. See you next time. Bye-bye.